Hey guys, how are you doing? My beautiful people around the world. This is Danish. I'm back with our free community webinar session where we invite a beautiful, talented, and experienced experts like Tunis here from to cover topics around immigration, taxes, company formation, making money, saving money. That's what we do, right? We make money and we travel around the world. So before we dive in, before we start the webinar, I would really love it if you guys could share where you are right now. I will start with me. I'm right now in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. I got here for the carnival. Tonis, what about you? Where are you right now?
And I'm located in Estonia, Tallinn, the capital, so just outside of the city, enjoying the spring weather here. No carnival, but still really fun.
Yeah, I'm sure you will find a little carnival in Estonia as well. But guys, please tell us where you are right now in the world. That would be incredible to know, just to get an idea. So we got Scotland, Finn, really love the Scottish accent. So please guys keep typing in, and I'm quickly gonna share some free community resources with you. They are incredible. Just let me quickly share my screen. First community resource I'm going to share with you is Visadb.io. I am the founder, but this is a first global marketplace to hire experts around, company formation, taxing, immigration, like all the things digital nomads or global citizens need. So you can go check it out here, and you can also, for example, if you type United Kingdom, so you're going to see a lot of services from different providers. I'm not sure if Tony's service is not showing up, but yeah, his service will be showing up here as well for the company resources. You can check it out. You can also actually search visas, based on your citizenship around the world, all type of visas. And when you click on them, you can find the requirements, like documents required, cost of living, and the community, experts community there. So this is like, it's all free information. You can go check it out, the Visadb.io. Second, I want to quickly give a shout out to Safety Wing. They have incredible, most affordable insurance products for digital nomads. 70% of digital nomads use their products. So check them out. Third and the final resource I'm going to share is the digitalnomadnations.org. This is a private sort of like a network. It's like a group portal. So if you go there, you can see all the resources, articles, cities, you can also have a talent database. So if you're looking for a remote job, you can publish your profile here. Or if you are an employer, you can also find the talent, a remote ready talent. These are the guys who are experience in working and traveling together. So these are the three community resources. I'm quickly gonna turn off my screen, and I'm back here. So I see a lot of countries there. Good to know. Pakistan, Philippines. I see Canada. Yay! From Toronto, Karina. St. Petersburg, Russia. Istanbul, India. Namaskaram. Croatia, and everything. Wow, incredible guys. So let's dive in. Let me introduce you our incredible guest, as always, the incredible Tonis, and he works with 1Office. It's a very well-established and very reputable company which helps in company formation in multiple countries, including UK, Estonia, and I think, am I missing other countries?
You're correct about UK and Estonia, of course. These are the competing countries in this European continent, to say. But yeah, there are other countries where we provide the same services. It's Baltic states, Finland, Sweden, and from May also in Ireland. So new countries are being added. But yeah, their focus is on UK. This is
incredible. This is just like, wow, one-stop shop. So guys, they also offer, like 1Office not only offer the company formation, but also taxes and accounting, which all the entrepreneurs need kind of service. So Tonis, on the behalf of 149,000 digital nomads, I really want to show my gratitude. Thank you very much for taking out the time and coming back to us. How are you? Let's start with this. How is your day so far?
I'm doing well. I think the last time when we spoke, I wasn't a father yet, but I'm a father now.
Yes.
I have a kid, Tobias, 3 weeks old. So.
Oh my gosh!
I know.
Yay.
Bringing in such news immediate in the beginning, and also on behalf of your community, I joined yesterday, watched what kind of events, everything that you have, and so much activity in that community, which is really surprising. Because 1Office tries to build a community. We spoke about the Estonian e-residency in the last webinar, and also building the community. And you guys have done such a wonderful job. And I really appreciate you asking me to come back and speak about UK. So pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much, Tonis. But really, to be honest, I feel like dropping this event and let's celebrate your fatherhood. I'm really big congratulations. We're so happy. What a joy, what a moment for you. So thank you very much for coming. Let's dive straight in. So I will create a picture, like a story. So I'm a digital nomad for the last 6 years, and I am traveling the world. I was a freelancer, a remote worker, a remote freelancer, and I'm a founder, a business owner. I'm trying to establish digital businesses. So I noticed that I'm from Toronto, but my businesses may not have to be in Toronto because of their different things. So the one biggest problem for digital nomads I noticed, including myself, is that you are from country A and you are living in country B, but you have to register a company or your business in country C. So if we start our conversation, what are the few countries which are friendly for digital businesses? Let's start with that.
Yeah, well, the title or the topic of this webinar already says some of the answers the question in somewhat, but there are a few countries indeed around the world that compete with each other, and one of them is Estonia. Again, we spoke about that previously, but the other country, at least in our portfolio, where 1Office operates, is the UK. And of course, you have like Delaware LLC and then some other jurisdictions where you can quite easily establish maybe a sole proprietorship, like a business. But in UK, you get limited liability company. In Estonia, you get the same limited liability company, which gives you so much more flexibility. You get the VAT numbers, you can hire employees and so on. So you don't have to limit yourself to be just solo entrepreneur. With limited liability, you could do so much more, and it doesn't mean it's more expensive to you. And it same applies to the UK. And actually, compared to UK with Estonia, UK is even easier, at least in the beginning phase, because you don't need anything extra. You need just a valid passport or ID copy, depends which country you are from.
Yeah. Sorry, I will take a step back because we were going into the requirement. And if we start with the first step, so I will use example, let's say Karina or Sachit or Amita. These are from people from 3 different countries in the community, and they are embarking on their digital nomad journey, and they want to register a company, but they are not a UK resident or citizens. Is it possible for them to open a company?
Yes, if you go really simplistic, then exactly the first thing you should look at the jurisdictions is like, do they restrict foreigners establishing a company? And UK does not. So you can be from any country. The UK government itself doesn't discriminate. You do have to check maybe like North Korea or maybe Iran, but actually I've seen Iranians definitely opening companies, but these kind of things always change, so keep an eye out on those countries if you're from there. But other than that, the UK government doesn't discriminate, so wherever you are from, wherever you are living, come on, you can start a company in the UK.
I'm sure people in this webinar right now smiling in front of their PCs, but so that's the first good news. Let's get into the details. So if I've decided, okay, UK is the country where I'm going to register my company, what is the next step? What is the requirement, let's say, to register a company?
Again, from the government perspective, actually the only requirement or 2 requirements: you have to have a local address,
Okay.
if you register the business, and you have to have a way to identify yourself, which is passport usually, or like for Europeans, ID card copy. So that's sufficient enough to start or kickstart the registration process. The tricky part is the address. So you don't really want to rent the physical office maybe in the beginning, because you're traveling around, hopefully enjoying the world, not fixed in one location. So that's where service providers like 1Office step in. They provide you the address. We call it virtual office, because it's not a physical office where you can like hire your employees and so on. Well, although we have a physical space where our own employees work, but yeah, for the customers we call it virtual office, and this requires a license from our side, but the government of UK accepts it as your own company's address when you go forward with the registration process. So address and ways of identifying yourself.
Oh my gosh! So passport would work. I believe as you the passport, guys, and the proof of address, which has to be in the UK, which you have to buy this virtual business address services.
That's exactly like you either buy monthly or annually. There are so many options out there. We also can be really flexible about it. You can extend it, not extend it, whatever. It's just the initial investment to get the address, to get the company rolling, and you never know what happens in the future. I mean, you're gonna get employees from UK or rent an actual office there. You move there, whatever. But in the beginning, the address usually is provided by service providers like us.
Sure. That's amazing. I have a company in Delaware, and also I'm using that. So yeah, this is very normal, guys. You can get the address, virtual address. Don't need to worry. So Tony, I got my ID, I got my address, and I went in to start this process. How long does it take before I have a registered business in the UK?
Mm-hmm. The registration process itself, you have to fill a little bit of documents, so you're gonna get completely hassle-free. You have to put in your company name, the activity codes that you plan to do, and so on. And that takes maybe an hour if you do it. No, maximum hour. I would say you could do it faster, but an hour, because you want to think a little bit as well, not rush through the process. But an hour is sufficient. And then once you've submitted, then it takes about 3 days for the company's house. That's how the registry in UK is called, company's house. It processes usually 3 days, maximum 3 days. So in 3 days you can be a company owner in the UK. And why actually I recommend UK is that it's fast. You get it in 3 days, and you don't have any other requirements than the address requirement and the passport requirement. How they do the identification of a business, like you register it, and you don't give any signature. It's a really fun system. You give last 3 digits of your phone number, last 3 digits of your passport number, and then 3 first letters of the city where you were born or where you are living. So this is the kind of like a signature of UK government, which is when I first heard about it, I was like, wow, this is weird.
Genius.
Yeah, it's quite genius, weird, genius. But the point is that once you have the company running, you do have some compliance to do, like annually reporting on your transactions and so on. So they have means to actually check that you're a valid and good business. But yeah, the process of opening the company is just ludicrous. It's too simple to be true. Really, it's too simple.
This is good to know, because why I say it's genius, maybe people thinking, okay, I'm exaggerating, it's genius, but because I have a Polish company as well. And let me tell you, this is like signing in, actual signing in, electronic signature. Oh my God, there's a lot of things, every document, my initial, my full signature, and I am like in Argentina right now. And so, yeah, so it really, really helps. So now we have let's say a UK company, it takes 3 days, and now I have a business. Can I sell my product or service, or can I get paid my freelance contract after 3 days, or is there a step before that?
Well, there is one step. You should have a separate bank account for the business. It's not mandatory, as in many countries. Actually, the government doesn't legislate or like demand that the business has to have a bank account. You could do all cash business, and quite often our customers also make the mistake of using their personal bank account for the business. Well, later on, it's really hard to differentiate personal and business transactions. So I recommend opening a business account. It can be a simple Wise account or Payoneer or N26, Revolut, whatever the situation is, because you can open that one remotely as well. So once you have a working bank account, no matter what kind of bank account it is, it's up to you. The main point is that your customer would be willing to pay on that bank account. So yeah, that's the next step. And usually you can open the bank account also in a couple of days if you use a fintech option. And after that, just issue the invoice, and that's it.
Wow! This looks like within a week, I can literally sell products and services online or get paid
Yeah.
for freelance.
I'd say that in 3 days you can make already contracts with the counterpart, and then yeah, in a week or so you could already receive money on your business bank account. So of course, you can already issue the invoice, but you don't have like bank details to add there.
This is good news. So if you talk about business banking options, you mentioned like do we have a lot of options and do they cost a lot?
Most banks or these online options that are out there, there are so many, and really it's at this point it's even suspicious to recommend anything, because there are definitely some options that I haven't heard about that are really good, or maybe basically for free, and they have a whole different kind of business model behind there. But I always hear that Wise is really recommended. Revolut itself, so it's UK business. Payoneer is recommended if you do some kind of e-commerce kind of business. So there are different banking solutions for different segments, like different business sectors. So, and they usually, all of them, they either have one-time payment fee to actually get the account kind of active, but after that, it's just the transaction fee, like, I don't know, 0.1% of the transaction amount is going as a fee or something like that.
Sure. That's so Wise, you mentioned Revolut. So guys, I can tell you I'm with Wise. So they don't have any fees like per monthly fees or anything per se. When you make a transfer, they take a very minimum, amount or percentage, tiny, like a baby percentage. So
definitely, if you recommend with traditional banks, I mean, I here in Estonia, it's really forward-thinking country, but you still have banks. They take like €5 fee every month from you, like a subscription, and then they also have some other fees, like when you convert to currencies or whatever it might be. You order somewhere in a different country, there are always some fees applied, but online options are usually even cheaper.
Yeah. So we will get into the question as well, but let's get into like what are the obligations. So all my people have signed up a business. Looks like very easy to do that, and then also opening a bank account. We got it, and now we are issuing an invoice. But to keep a healthy company or healthy business, are there any sort of duties or responsibilities, month on month or annual tax filing? Can you share with us?
Yeah, I'll start with the basic ones that are definitely mandatory, because and it doesn't matter what the situation is. If you have a business in UK, you have to submit a confirmation statement confirming that you did own this business. Basically, that's the thing. That's once per year, and it's really cheap. It's £40 per year. So just once per year, you have to pay £40. And then another thing, it usually falls on the same time, is annual report or annual accounts, as they call it in UK. And this is just financial summary of your business. We take your bank statements, allocate them to the balance sheet, like assets, income, and then you submit this to the government. This is also once per year. And it usually happens that when you open the company today, then from the day your business year starts. Next year, on the 20th of April, your business years end, and then you have 7 months to submit this financial statement. So even if you open today, then basically you have 1 year and 6 months to actually do your first obligations, which are annual accounts and confirmation statement.
Okay, perfect. And so registering, opening a bank account took take a week, and then I'm making money. I'm selling my product, services, or anything, and I'm making money. And then every month, or like a whole year, so do we have to submit anything monthly, or is just the end of the year?
Yeah, that's why I started with annual, because annual is it applies to everybody. But now we have to go already into a little bit of details, like differentiate who needs what. And if you need like a local employee, then you have to do monthly reporting on that employee, pay the social security, do the taxes, and so on that employee.
We don't have those cases.
I believe so. Yeah, but the second case, which is more relevant, is the value-added tax number. UK. This value-added tax number is actually a European system. Although Brexit happened and the UK is not part of the European Union anymore, they still kept the VAT value-added system, and so you could apply for a VAT number. So when you do need the VAT number and you apply for it, then you have to do monthly or quarterly reporting. You can choose. So either you do quarterly or you do monthly. And then usually service providers, at least us in 1Office, we onboard you as an accounting client because we want to make sure that your VAT declarations are reported correctly every month or every quarter. But again, it's your choice. You actually get your own access to the tax office, HRMC system, and you can report on your own VAT number. So you can do all the accounting on your own. But we in 1Office offer our help if that's needed.
Wow. So guys, I hope you are hearing out. This is very important information. So if you have like a VAT, then you have to submit quarterly or monthly declarations, right? But if you do not have a VAT, then you can do annual. So I would, to be honest, if you are a freelancer or a small business, I would encourage you to do annual. You want to focus on that.
If I may be useful in this topic, is that VAT usually is necessary when you do sales to Europe or you do sales in UK. If your customers are actually non-European or like from outside of Europe or outside UK, then this VAT thing, it really doesn't bother your business at all. You never need to register it. You have the option to do it, but you are not obligated to do it. Your obligation to apply for a VAT number is when you have £83,000 worth of turnover in 1 year in UK or in Europe. Then you have to kind of apply for the VAT number. Otherwise, you don't need to do it under the threshold.
Yeah. I think we can leave it. I'm sure most of the people starting the business, so I don't think that they will be hitting that. If they hit, I will be so excited, and of course there are help for them to do it, but it will be most likely less. Now we have established that non-residents, people who are not a UK citizen, they are not residents in the UK, can register and operate and run a successful company there. Now let's talk a little bit about, so guys, let me tell you, for the detailed taxes, we will have another webinar in 2 weeks, but right now we will just touch a little bit of it. Because we are discussing the obligations to run this company healthy and safely. So if we talk about money, like for example, I'm from Canada and I register a UK business, and someone from China, let's say, pay me $5,000. Do I have to pay any corporation tax to the UK government on that amount?
If really on that amount, no. It's explicitly said in the tax code of UK that you only pay the corporate tax that you actually earn from doing business in the UK. So if somebody, your contractor, supplied the service or product from UK, then that's like business in UK. Or you sold to a UK private or company like your service, that's money generated in the UK. In that case, you pay 19% corporate tax in UK. But if it's the situation as you described, you're managing the company from Canada, the customer is from China, the money goes through the vessel in UK, then this is not money or profit generated in UK, and so you are not eligible for the tax in UK. It's quite unique. It has in some other countries its place as well, but it's a really good system if you basically don't want to deal with UK at all. because then you can keep your annual accounts, the obligation that I mentioned, really simple as well, and you don't have to start calculating taxes on the corporate tax,
Wow.
anything like that.
Damn, this is a great news, guys. So this is the whole webinar is about. So if you make any income, and that income, the source of that income is not the UK, then you are not obligated to pay any taxes,
Absolutely.
right? Yes. So Anthony, we will get back to the questions. I know what you're talking about, but that is you're talking about maybe resident, like you're talking about maybe personal tax. You're talking
Mm.
about the corporation tax here, right? So we will get back to the question, and we can answer. That's going to be fun. But again, the tax webinar will be in detail. But if you are not a UK resident, if you're not a UK citizen, and you've never been to the UK, you're running a business and your income comes from China, the source of income is from China, you don't have to pay a corporation taxes to the UK government.
Mm.
Now, when you will pay the UK government is when someone, let's say from Edinburgh or someone from Manchester, he's your client. The situation is the same. You are not a UK citizen, you are not a UK resident, but your client is,
Yeah.
uh, or your client is residing in the UK. Then you have to pay 19% corporation tax. No, like there is no way around. There's nada. You have to pay straight 19% tax if the income
Yeah.
is coming from the UK. If it's not, then you're not obligated to pay. Again, Anthony, you if you're not a UK resident or a citizen, this is a condition. So don't think like if you are, then it's a different palotra. There's a different thing, right?
Yeah, also really the audience is on point with the questions and everything like that. But we are focusing on situations where you actually are traveling around. You're not a UK resident. But of course, there are so many different like inputs you can put there, like employees or exactly the VAT again, or some kind of supplier, or you rent an office, and this changes the situation. Definitely, I understand, and then you might be obligated to pay some tax in the UK. But if we take the simplistic thing that Danish just explained, then you are not obligated to pay.
Yeah.
So just to keep a fine record of your invoices where the money is coming in and going out and so on.
Yeah. So if we talk about it, we go further, guys. If let's say if we quickly, so we have very little time left. So I'm gonna quickly jump into the question and answers, and that will cover some taxes as well, guys. Don't worry, we will cover it. But again, let me tell you, if you're looking into CFC rules and complex VAT systems, or one partner is a UK resident and other not, these are complex tax situations. And for that, we are hosting another webinar for UK taxes alone in 2 to 3 weeks with Tony's team in the UK. They are specialists, they are in the UK, they will help us. So please join that webinar as well. But now we will cover the basic taxes, or the question and answers people are asking here. So I'm just gonna quickly jump into the question and answer, and let's see what we got there. We got a few questions. Let's start with Henrik. Which normal non-fintech banks in the UK accepts business bank accounts from non-resident UK companies? I know a little bit because I've lived in the UK many years. Barclays, I would say none, but there are like Barclays, like traditional banks, Barclays, they are kind of opening up to this idea now, Henrik, but I wouldn't count on them. Again, even if you open it, it could be a lot of, like, in the future, it could be a problem. So focus on the modern banks who understand us digital nomads, who don't create a problem, so do that. In Poland, it happened with me. A bank blocked my account. They say you need to come to the branch. I'm like, dude, I'm in some other country. They're like, no, but you have to, it's a security. So watch out. But I'm sure Barclays and I forgot the name, NatWest. There's another, I've heard in my community, they are opening this idea. They are opening for the companies regardless of your residency. But again, I am not like this, don't quote me on that. Okay, let's go to the next question. Felipe, if you have registered a company in the UK using a virtual address and you are a resident in the UK, what do you have to do to change if you want to leave the UK and travel? And after 180 days, where would I pay taxes if I stay traveling? Thomas, do you know? I also know.
The common practice around the world is that if you're traveling outside of UK, you're a resident there, and you're traveling outside of the UK more than like 6 months a year, you're basically moving away from the UK. Then I assume it means that you don't really want to pay the personal taxes, or like you want to change your tax residency. Well, in that case, the UK will still, UK tax office will still want to get taxes from you. But since you've been living outside of UK for 6 months, maybe you have options to prove that you're not a tax resident in UK anymore. And usually you need maybe like a rent agreement from, I don't know, Thailand, Indonesia, wherever you were living, or from multiple places saying that you're not a tax resident in UK anymore. You traveled around, and that's why you're not using any UK social security taxes and so on. But yeah, it's a difficult situation. I mean, you really do have to have like a proof that you're not living in UK anymore.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and let's go to the other question. Felipe, if you need to know more, there are two things: personal residency and, of course, your tax residency and corporate tax residency. As Tonis explained to you very well, UK is a little bit, I noticed, complicated to detach yourself as a tax resident. You can. I know a lot of nomads who are right now a non-resident of UK, like a tax resident. So they established their residency in Paraguay. We can talk about it, but UK is a little bit technical. You got to be technical to detach yourself as a tax resident.
That's maybe something we could also include in the tax webinar, because it can be difficult. Well, just take USA. I mean, you're a resident of the United States. You're there always. You never get rid of that tax residency.
Yes. All right. Now, I've been registered as self-employed and paying a lot of tax in the UK for the past few years, but I'm hardly ever there. Could you help me shifting from self-employed to registering a company? Is there a different structure? Self-employed?
Yeah, in UK you have this self-proprietorship, or actually I don't know what you exactly mean by self-employed, Neringa, but I assume you have something like that. You just registered yourself in the, I think it's done in the tax office, not in company's house. Well, you go already like tiny details, but contact me at 1Office and we can look into it. In one situation, when it's sole proprietorship, you can turn this entity into LTD. But it's actually easier and more convenient to create a new one. And you just, I don't know, if you have like intellectual property or whatever, you can just transfer it over to the LTD. But if you're a freelancer, then there's no harm done. Basically, you could use the same company name you had as a self-employed person, if it's available, and then just continue your business as it was.
Yeah, that's good. Awesome. So please contact. They will definitely help. That's what they do. That's their specialty is. Delphine asks, I already have a UK LTD. So, Tonis, I also want to ask you, because a lot of people confusing. So, guys, when we say company registration, company is just a company, business. But then it has the types, the different structures, LTD, LLP. Now you just taught me sole proprietorship as well. So we are just talking about the general company. But if you want to get into detail, I'm not sure if we have enough time to differentiate between LLP and LTD, but they both are companies. So I don't know if we have time, but let's see what we could do. I already have a UK LTD. What's the difference with this non-domicile version? Is it in Jersey?
No, it's still in England. Our virtual office is located in London, so it's limited liability company. And then we usually don't handle other types of businesses because this LTD is so straightforward. But we have like non-profits, and we have public limited companies as well. So, but those are already with more complicated structures, and you have more compliance. So everything we started to discuss about, like how easy it's to do business in UK, it's about LTDs.
Wow, this is incredible. So, can you do business with European companies or only with the other UK companies? I think you can do business with anyone in the world.
With anyone, with private people, with companies, non-European, European. So it's up to you. There's no restriction.
Wow. Okay, so Delphine asked, basically my question is about the 0% tax on sales to non-UK clients, which I currently pay. My turnover is 95 non-UK and 5% UK, yet we pay taxes on that non-UK turnover. Delphine, why you're doing that? Talk to us, talk to Tonis.
Yeah.
Definitely there are ways. If they are not in the UK, the
I assure you, just before we try to get our tax expert on a quick notice here as well. I couldn't do that. He just couldn't be here with a short notice. But I called him and I asked about this profit from outside of UK. It's true. I mean, he's our accountant. I trust him. So if you paid on all of that global income, you paid the corporate tax. Maybe it makes worthwhile to double check your annual accounts, what was written there, because based on annual accounts you pay also taxes, and then maybe there's some kind of mistake or it wasn't clear enough to the government that what's going on. So yeah, we could double check that for you.
Sure. So Delphine, contact, we can help, definitely help. Again, guys, the tax webinar only for taxes will be the next week, but this is a simple case, looks like that if you are not a UK citizen or resident. Right? So if you have an online course and some percentage of purchases come from the UK, you would have to pay taxes in these customers from the UK. Yes.
Yes.
And is it 19%, Thomas?
Yes, it's 119.
Okay, 19%, guys, and of course there will be maybe VAT as well, right? I guess.
I mean, VAT is paid by the customer. So if you add VAT amount, which is 20% on your invoices, then the customer is paying that. You just pay that to the government from the customer. Yeah.
Sure. Rena also asked a similar question. Yes, guys, you have to pay the taxes. What you could do? Let me tell you a hack. If you have a lot of UK customer, why don't you register an Estonian company or US LLC? Right?
Absolutely. Well, that's what we try to promote before Brexit, after Brexit, all the time. Is that to come on and A/B test your business in Estonia, because you solve a lot of these issues right from the back, and they are so similar. Actually, I think it's quite friendly for a UK person to step into an Estonian environment. They are quite similar. In some sense, it can surprise you how similar it is, and in some sense, it's different. But I mean, you get used to it. You have service providers like us in 1Office to help you. So try out Estonia as well if you're from UK.
Rena and Felipe, if you have a lot of customers, think about Estonia or USS. Then you will. I have a USS company. You don't have. If you have a US LLC, you don't have to pay. These are called pass-through entities. They are taxed on personal level. So this is not the government is nice with you. They don't want to charge you corporate tax. No, they just pass on you liabilities on you as a personal tax. So you will be paying whatever the rate of whatever the tax residency you are in. So can you share the link of the official website where one can open a UK LLC themselves, not through an agent or company, or tell us how much the service costs? Soma, okay, that's I think it's not a question we should ask Thomas, but he's a service provider.
Go to type to Google Companies House, and you should be able to enter the environment of the government to actually register your business. Yeah. Try it. But don't worry.
Yeah. Let me answer that. Let me answer the Salvador is a service provider. So yes, you can go to the company website. I think it costs $15 to $30, something like that. You have everything to them, and it's a very simple process. If you prefer that way, please go ahead, Google company houses.
I want to answer one, if I may. I want to answer one question which did came up because people want to get salaries, maybe on monthly basis or quarterly basis, whatever it is. And there was a question about salaries. So again, from the business perspective, the salary is a cost. So you just pay out the salary from your UK entity. But again, it's your personal taxation where you're living at. What's your tax residency? So if you're a tax resident in Canada and you pay salary from your UK company, then UK you don't pay anything. But in Canada, well, you have to declare those salary taxes to your social security and then pension and whatever you have covered there.
Yeah. So guys, I will repeat again. This is not you're cheating the system or you're saving. No, these are called pass-through entities. Actually, they kind of appear on like a negative side because personal taxes are more. So what these entities do, whatever money you make, they charge zero tax and pass it on to you. So you now pay personal taxes. So that's why Paraguay tax residency works pretty well with that, because then it's also zero. But we can talk about it in detail as Tony's mentioned. Again, I will repeat, we are having another tax specific to this, but in a couple of weeks. And also we were just talking about the company right now, the differences between LTD and LLP and its tax obligations respectively. This is also technical, which we will discuss in 2 weeks when we have a tax specialist from the UK. But to be honest, a lot of people do not go into that detail. They just want a simple business. So that's why we thought that we should focus on how easily to start a business, banking, and general basic taxes. That's what our agenda for today. So let's go further. What about tax on royalty? Okay, this is again, Francisco, this is very detailed. We can talk about it, where those properties are, right, Tonis? And
yeah, about royalties, I don't personally know. It's already a little bit difficult, but the dividend is taking out the profit. So basically, it's again 19%. So yeah, it's 19.
Yeah. Sure, it's 19 by the way. And Rena asked one more question: would I be qualified to get business credit card in the UK if I have a non-resident company there? I know a little bit of answer, but let's see, Tonis, you know, I can answer as well.
Yeah, okay, that question from Reina. Again, it boils down to the banking solution that you have. Usually, traditional banks offer like a credit card because it embeds loans within. So it's really hard to actually get a credit card for your business. So that can be something that is difficult to get. And then you might need to visit the UK locally to get the bank account, to get the credit card option. Yeah. But I don't know, Danish, maybe you have some feedback about this as well. This is what I've heard, what I've seen.
Yeah. So this is typical, guys. I have 2 companies, one in Poland, one in the US, and I'm not a resident in both. So it's a little bit difficult because banks, it depends on the bank, of course, but the traditional bank check, they want you to be a resident there, to have established credit score. I know it's a business loan, but still they want to see you as a person, as a credit. Are you a credible person, or the owner of the business is a credible person? That I'm just talking about the US. But now there's a new banks coming up called Brex, which gives you the loan not based on individual, but rather as a business. So check that out. For the UK, I am not sure about that. It depends on the bank. You need to contact them and ask them, hey, you offer loans to the non-resident UK only on the company.
Yeah, if you're like a starting business and you need a credit card or like credit basically for the business, then rather look into accelerators or just investment groups who could maybe provide this credit that you need. But yeah, just getting credit card from the beginning, I wouldn't put too many hopes on that. It's not impossible, but yeah, it's just wouldn't count on that.
Yeah. That's good. Thank you, Tonis. And what is the average yearly expense to run a non-resident UK company after it has been set up, accounting, legal, address, annual reporting, declarations, everything? It's like a whole yearly package.
I'll give it the minimum, and then the average one that we get and after that it's like the worst case scenarios. But usually it means you get a lot of money, that then the expenses are high as well. But it's £150 for a year to keep the address. So every year you renew it. In the beginning you pay upfront for a year, and then you renew it every year. £150. Then if you're a minimum company, then you have £40 for the confirmation statement every year. And then £90 for the annual accounts. You basically submit dormant accounts, which means that you have maybe 5 or 10 invoices per year, or nothing at all. Like your company is basically dormant. So it's £130 plus £150, 200. How much? £280 per year. So yeah, 280. It's the minimum. But the confirmation statement, £40 you pay every year, £150 you pay every year for the address. Now the annual report or the annual accounts, that's the question mark. It really depends how many transactions you had over the year. I would say our average is like £600 per year to submit the annual report. But just the other day I had a client who had an annual report for £1,500, but he wasn't too sad about it because he had a really good year. Because he had a lot of transactions, good valuable transactions, and then he was able to afford this £1,500 annual report. But I would say like on average it's like 500, 600 around that per year if you really have like an active business, like freelancing business.
Perfect. That's amazing. So guys, like people are asking a lot, like Anthony and other people are asking. I would encourage you to not spread any information which you also not sure about it. So we know this information. There's an article as well. We can also send you later. We can talk about it. And this is not really complicated. It's very simple. The personal taxes are different, and the business taxes are different. Personal taxes are depend on where you have a tax residency. You can optimize that by moving to a country which does not charge taxes on foreign income like Paraguay, and there's a Portugal NHR program as well, but it has some technicalities which we can talk. But again, guys, we can have another topic, another webinar specifically around that. Naringa asked, what's the difference between having a resident and non-resident company in the UK? I think that's exactly what we were talking about, I guess, the taxes, right?
Yeah, the company itself is the same. What is different is your own residency and how your personal taxes are going to affect your business decisions, basically. So yeah, definitely. I mean, we don't want to say anything like no taxes at all. Definitely, you have to keep in mind like permanent establishments in other countries where you live and so on. So it can get really, really complicated. But you really said, Danish, really good wording that it's like vessel or like you give the responsibility. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true, and you give the responsibility to the person to pay their own taxes in their home country, basically.
Yeah, yeah. So, guys, I think I wanted to share that, but thank you, Andrea. She shared the document, the text document where you can see, because the people question this because they can't believe this. This is not something government are nice. This is not that. They're just transferring the responsibility from them to you personally. That means that could also mean you're paying higher taxes actually, because personal taxes are mostly higher than corporation taxes. So that's why with these pass-through entities, you definitely must optimize your personal tax residency. If you don't do that, you maybe end up paying higher taxes. So please talk to us, talk to Tonis, and talk to me as well. I am organizing a lot of tax webinars around that, so we can help you. So guys, we have to close this, because this is actually already like way longer than we expected. It's supposed to be 30 minutes. As always, Tony, you are such a great speaker, or you answer very simply, and so that's why we love to talk to you.
I just wait when everything is again opening and then having this online events. By the way, actually, I'm coming to Accountex in London, where 1Office is coming with the accounting team. So in Accountex, you could actually contact me and find my details behind this event, and then schedule some kind of like a meetup. So Accountex is like an accounting exposition in London in May. So yeah, we could meet up there if you're in UK and interested about UK stuff. So these communications, these webinars, I love them, and would love to see the community in live as well. So yeah, thanks for having me again.
That's amazing, guys. So I really again, Tonis, we love to have more webinars with you, with a team in the UK, with your team in Georgia or Finland. We wanna cover around the world for our people. But thank you very much for coming in today, and everybody's tuning in. What we're gonna do to clarify further. So two things we are going to do. Number one, you're going to get the replay. You can watch it, right? Second thing, reach me out. If you need sources of this, government sources, send me an email. I will reply you with that. Also, if you want further, if you have further questions around personal tax residency along with the UK company, in 3 to 4 weeks, we are organizing another event which is going to be only around taxes and talking about LTDs, LLPs, sole proprietorship, what happens with VAT, property income, all taxes around these things. So within 2 to 3 weeks, today was simply how to register a company, what are the obligations, and what are the basic taxes, which Tony's answered in detail and pretty awesomely. And if you need further help to change your status or register a new business along with accounting and all those services, Tony's service is linked at the top of this webinar. You can see that it's also pasted there. You can click and chat with Tony's straight away. Thank you very much for tuning in. Promise me to have a lot of fun this weekend. Tonis, thank you very much. Talk to you soon, and we will invite you again.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.